Hello everyone and welcome to this video where we will be talking about Babbar's metrics and especially the new metric, the Babbar Authority Score that we are introducing. So first, let's have a look at Babbar's dashboard. Some of you may already be familiar with it. For those of you who aren't, let me do a quick tour of it. So here is the URL we are analyzing. It's impôts.gouv.fr. It's the French website for paying your taxes. We're doing the analysis at the host level, so we are analyzing the whole website and not just this URL. This website was classified as politics and government and business and economy, since it's the website for paying taxes. Makes a lot of sense. If we look at the similar host found by Babbar, we can see that all those websites talk about taxes, meaning that Babbar had a really good and deep understanding of the semantics of this website. We can also see that at the time of this screenshot, the last update of this website was on the 13th of September. Babbar knows roughly 6,000 URLs for this website, which is almost all in French, 99.40%, and a few pages probably in English. It's hosted on one IP, and Babbar know a lot of backlinks pointing to this website. Also, we have the HTTP health, which is the distribution of the HTTP codes we received while crawling this website. But let's focus a bit more on the metrics now, starting with the host value or the value, which is available at all the levels, URL, host, and domain. Here we are analyzing at host level, so it's the host value. It's the popularity metric. It's can be seen as the page rank of the website. It's computed here with an algorithm that uses a reasonable surfer model, which means that depending on where the link is on a page, it will have a different strength in distributing power or its popularity, transmitting its popularity. This value range between 0 and 100, so a host value of 83 is actually quite powerful. We can see that this government website is really popular on the web. Next, we have the host trust, which is a trust metric, obviously. It is computed with an algorithm that is similar to the trust rank algorithm, so it's just a propagation algorithm. Here, also this value range also between 0 and 100, so a trust value of 55 is above average. So this website is trustworthy, but is not one of the most trustworthy websites. Those two metrics, value and trust, are well-known metrics of SEOs using similar tools as Babbar. They are providing in different fashion by almost all tools. But here in Babbar we have other metrics that are quite new to the game. So the first one is the semantic value, which is also a popularity metrics, but when you take semantics into account. It's computed with an algorithm that is similar to the topical PageRank algorithm, meaning that the strength of the link will depend on the topical relevance of the website making the link to the target. Meaning that the more coherent semantically the two websites are, the stronger the link will be. Here we can see for this website that we have a semantic value of 83, which is quite high and is equal actually to the host value. We'll discuss in another video of the relationship between the semantic value and the host value. But for now, let's leave it at that. This site is quite popular from a standard point of view as well as from a semantic point of view. The last metric I want to talk about, and the actual subject of this video, is the Babbar Authority Score. There's no intuition behind this score, like in popularity or semantic popularity. it kind of aggregates all the other metrics, meaning the popularity, the trust, and the semantic popularity into one score, trying to reduce the effect of manipulation on those algorithms. Meaning that this Babbar authority score is kind of just a one score if you're trying to start a new linking strategy to decide to arbitrate between two sites. Meaning that if you don't know how to compare sites with different popularity and trust, here you only have like one score to decide which one is the best. So we can see here again, like this is a government website, so it's no wonder that it has really high values. So if you can get somehow a link from impôts.gouv.fr and you're in politics and government or business and economy, this will be a really, really strong link because it has a value of 82. Again, the Babbar authority score ranges between 0 and 100. But let's talk a bit more about what it does and how it relates to all the other metrics we have seen up until now by looking at this maybe a bit scary diagram, which is actually a correlation diagram. Let's forget about all the rectangles, the colored rectangles. We're not going to talk about them, and let's only focus on the diagonal and the upper half of it. We can see that we have metrics name on it. First one is value, or the popularity metric in Babbar. Second one is trust. The third one is semantic value. Fourth one is called VV. It's just an internal value in Babbar. We're not going to talk about it, but when you're doing like correlation diagram, you put everything you have in it just to see if you have some kind of relationships. And at last, the Babbar authority score, which is the new metric we are introducing. So how can you read such a diagram to understand what it means and what it says? Let's look at this value. It is the correlation value we have between the value and the trust. So between the popularity and the trust of a website. If you look at all the values in this diagram, you can see that they all range between 0 and 1. 0 being no correlation at all, 1 being perfect correlation. What correlation means is that if two metrics are perfectly correlated, when one increases, the other one will increase as well. If one decreases, the other one decreases as well. And if you have perfect correlation, you can say that these two metrics actually measures the same thing. So they are equal. They mean the same thing behind them. So if we look at the popularity versus trust, we have a correlation score of 0.56, which is not that high. There is some sort of correlation, but it's far from perfect. That only means that the popularity, you can have like many sites, many really popular sites with good trust, but many popular sites with not so good trust. And vice versa, you can have like really trustworthy website with either like a really high popularity or not so high popularity, meaning that trust and actually popularity measures two different things on the web. Like having high popularity is not a guarantee of having a high trust. So let's go a bit further and look at the correlation value between the trust and the semantic value, which is the semantic popularity. We have the same kind of relationship. So 0.54, a bit of correlation, but not too much. Actually, these are as well like almost as correlated as independent. So there's a bit of correlation here, but not too much. And again, we have the same thing, meaning that you can have like really trustworthy websites with either like a high semantic value or not so high semantic value. And the reverse is true as well. You can have like really semantically popular websites that are either trustworthy or not. So let's look at a correlation value which is really high, which is between the popularity and the semantic popularity of a web page, which is 0.9, which is really high correlation value. What that means, and it's actually quite natural, meaning that sites that are popular are also popular when you take semantics into account. It may not seem natural to SEO, but it's actually quite natural. When you obtain a link naturally, it will be semantically relevant or topically relevant for your website. If you're like running a website that talks about cooking, if you obtain a link naturally, it will, like in all likelihood, be from a website that talks about cooking as well. So natural linking will most all of the time will be topically relevant to your website. When you're doing SEO and net linking strategy, you're trying to recreate artificially something that should be natural. So you want to have you want to force the topical classification of your website using links, but this occurs naturally on the web. So let's look now at the correlation value of the Babbar authority score with all our three metrics. The first thing we see is that there are high correlation value, minimum being with the trust of 0.72 and with popularity is close to 0.8. So those are high correlation value, which means that all we know is that a high authority score, it means a high popularity, trust, and semantic popularity. This means that the Babbar authority score represent the overall strength of a website on the web, and then again you can use this value to arbitrate on linking strategy while looking at the authority score of different website to decide which one you want to buy links from. And all that being said, all these metrics are available in Babbar. Even if our cheapest plan, the core metrics, you'll have all this information. This plan, the cheapest one, is at 45 euros per month. Babbar is still in the beta phase, so to access Babbar you actually go to beta.babbar.tech, and you can have a coupon beta 30 that will give you a 30% discount, so it will make the core metrics plan at just about 30 euros per month, or if you want to buy it for a year, you will have the first year at 30% off. Thanks for listening to this video.